Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and I am back with another long review. And today my guest is
OGP.
oh yes, that's
Uh, uh,
OGP.
it, it's sounds spelled like it sounds. GHEEPUXNTEYQXRZZZ.
With a little
Just like
plus
it
sign at
just
the end.
just like it sounds.
Just exactly like it sounds. So
Yeah.
and
OGP.
and OGP. And we are here to and this is going to have spoilers.
Oh,
So because I wouldn't I'll talk about everything. But yeah, so just to let everybody know, spoilers. So if you want, go see the movie, then come back, or just watch this if you don't care. But we are here to talk about Tron Ares.
ooh.
And so because you're my guest and because I'm a big fan of the series, you're not. You're just, they're movies to you. They're just like, eh, type of thing. What did you
Hmm.
think of Tron Ares?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to start, considering it's the most relevant. But I I'm telling you, after about 45 minutes, I wanted to walk out of the theater and go home. I was losing my mind because the first hour was nothing but a Nine Inch Nails music video. Just the music just would not stop. Boom, 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 boom. It was driving me bonkers. There was a little bit of story set up during that first hour. Not enough to justify an hour. There was not enough meat on the bones for this movie to justify an hour and 59 minutes. But once we got past about an hour, we started to really get some story. Um, the master command guy, betrays his creator or his user and doesn't listen to him, and he doesn't want to derez the girl by taking the code out of her, and so he's like genuinely a good guy, which, hey, Jared Leto, he is what he is, take him or leave him. But aside from his eyes being too close together, I thought he was fine for this role. But who am I to talk? He's the one in movies, not me. Once we got to that point where he kind of betrayed his creator, his user, we started to get some good story, and it kind of pulled me back in. And I enjoyed the second hour of the film. I do like the fact that we did throwback to when he went into the original code or the original whatever. We threw back to the original 1982 Tron, and he was riding one of those like motorcycle things that was like a cartoon from back then, and even commented on it. I thought that was funny. I was waiting and waiting and waiting for the dude to show up, Mr. Lebowski himself, Jeff Bridges, and he finally shows up in the third act, which was fine because, with the cancer and everything that Jeff Bridges has dealt with over the last several years, it's kind of taken a toll. And he can still act, but he is not um, the guy from Tron, the original Tron that we remember anymore. He's an older guy, and that's okay for the role that they gave him. It was fine. I'm glad he had a little more involvement in it than, say the Ghostbusters at the end of Afterlife, but it was enough. But I kind of, just for nostalgia's sake, wanted more of Jeff Bridges. But I was happy with what they did. The way the film wrapped up, a little predictable and stuff. I mean, I felt, but it's more, I think, in these type of films about how you get there. Some of my other nitpicks are just the score was fine, but there was just too much of it. Like Trent Reznor, take a chill pill, bro. Like, this was cool, but it didn't need to be a 2-hour music video. And I think he just went too far with it. And then seeing that he was one of the producers was like, okay, I get it now. I understand. This was his movie. This was Trent Reznor trying to become a Danny Elfman. I mean, I know Reznor has done other movies and stuff, but this is him really trying to put his stamp on the movie business, I felt. And it was just, it might have been too much for me. I'm not sure how audiences feel about that. I haven't looked at scores or anything yet, but it was a little much. But all in all, the story, it pulled me back in. And one thing I don't understand, and I'm, shots fired here, Disney, F you. Why, with all the attractive African American women on the planet, why do you pick these? I'm just unattractive women. I will be polite. These, that's me being polite, is calling them unattractive. This woman in Wicked, what is that creature? What is that darker skinned golem that you have put on the screen for us to watch?
Wait, those are two different people.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Disney. I'm addressing Disney here, saying, why does Disney keep picking these ugly women like the girl in Wicked and this girl, the girl in Tron?
Same,
No, I understand that. I'm saying they keep picking, these ugly women, and this woman in this movie is tough. So she is hard to watch.
The director of this has done other Disney movies. So you're speaking of the woman who is like kind of the more manly, dedicated to the system and master control, and so she's a lot more militant and all of that. The one I was thinking, like, I like her. I'm kind of digging this character, and then I forgot. Why is she in this film? Because of this. That's her. This is The Acolyte, another Disney product. So the director has made Disney movies. She's in The Acolyte for at least, I think it's 3 episodes.
She's not attractive at all, man. And I get it, man. You're not putting her in there to be attractive, but holy cow. I don't want to look at something that's visually offensive for a couple hours. So, and she was I just didn't care to look at her. All the beautiful women on the planet, and they pick her, I don't get it.
See, that didn't bother me because our lead actress, the Asian woman, cannot act her way out of a bag. But the whole time I was thinking, okay, it could be worse because we could have gotten this. Awkwafina. I cannot stand this actress. I do not like her at all. I do not. Is
she in this movie?
No, I'm saying instead of the Asian actress that we got who can't act her way out of a bag.
Gotcha.
I kept thinking, well, we could have gotten Awkwafina because she has been in Disney movies. She was I think the seagull in the remake of Little Mermaid. I do not find her attractive. I do not find her funny. Her voice is horrible. She sings that awful song in Little Mermaid. And I'm just like, well, it could be worse. It could be Awkwafina. So I'm like, okay, I'm good with that. The woman from that's also in The Acolyte, she didn't bother me because I even have on here. I was going to put up a picture of each person, but then I found this. I figured that we could talk. Well, okay. So first, let me. Okay. So the plot on this, which is very short, is Tron Ares follows a highly sophisticated AI program named Ares, who is sent from the digital world into the real world on a dangerous mission, marking humanity's first encounter with AI beings. And then there's also Tron Ares is the 3rd installment in the Tron franchise and serves as a standalone sequel to Tron Legacy. I don't necessarily think that's true. Everybody's saying it's standalone, but I don't think it is. The film centers around Ares, a highly advanced program portrayed by Jared Leto, who embarks on a mission that bridges the digital and physical realms. This marks a significant shift in the narrative, as previous films have primarily focused on humans entering the digital world, whereas Ares explores the implications of AI entering our reality.
Yeah,
So
I like that aspect. I like that they kind of flip the coin, and it's now these things can actually harm us physically. So I thought that was great. And standalone, it can't be a standalone, because if you stayed for the mid-credit, because it wasn't opposed, it was mid-credit scene, you were sitting here looking at Dillinger, and there's gonna be a follow-up, guaranteed. So to say it's standalone to me is kind of naive at this point.
Well, and they do mention Flynn's son. They saying it's kind of weak, but it just says that he stepped down from the company for personal reasons. They don't really explain why. We do see the couple photos of Olivia Wilde near the end.
Yeah.
So we know that she's in this world. And so it is connected. The soundtrack, which is 9 Inch Nails or Trent Reznor, I really enjoyed, but nothing beats the Daft Punk Legacy soundtrack, which is probably, in my opinion, one of the greatest soundtracks ever. Even though I did like this one, and it did share themes from that one, I still enjoyed it. But so I have 3 things on this. So first, I was really afraid. I'm blanking on her character. I don't want to keep calling her the Asian woman.
Eve.
Eve, thank you. So in the trailers, when I saw Eve, I'm like, oh crap. This is going to be frigging woke. God damn it. She's going to be the greatest thing on the planet. She's going to know everything. She's going to, and you may disagree with me, I didn't think she was. I didn't think this.
I didn't find, the only thing that I noticed about, like, whether, if you want to go say it was woke or not, was this cast. They definitely were casting with diversity in mind. They
agree.
Wanted to make sure that they checked all the boxes. So otherwise, I didn't feel like this was, if at the end, Athena would have like defeated Ares, or maybe Athena. I was waiting for Athena to really just be ready to kill Ares, and then the program to shut down and that to save the day. But Ares was really going to be weaker than Athena. I would think that would have been a sign of them going woke, but they didn't do that. I was okay with the film. I don't feel like it's still got its Disney BS in it, but I didn't feel like woke at all.
Yeah, and it's because I watched a few reviews, negative reviews, and people were saying, well, it's Disney being woke again. I really didn't think it was, and I have no problem calling that out. Diverse cast, yes, but I kind of buy the cast in it. I mean, if you're gonna have the Jared Leto, is that he's not handsome, he's beautiful. He's a beautiful man with the long hair. Okay, fine. And then like Athena is the tough kind of militant, Wakanda, warrior that's for the digital world. And then you have the geeky white young guy who did kind of remind me of Alien Earth. But I thought, like, the Indian guy that's in this, okay, I could buy that he has like a tech company. All right. So I did think the same thing as you, is that, yeah, okay, it is diversified, but I don't think in the worst way. And some of these critics are like, oh, well, Eve is really woke because she knows how to drive one of those light cycles instantly. Have you watched the other 2 movies? Jeff Bridges' character hops right on that light cycle and knows how to use it instantly.
Well, and she struggled with it. Eve struggled with it at first. And so I thought that was fine. If she would have just picked it up and gone, I was like, wait a minute, you know why? I have a couple questions about her. We could probably get to them later, but why didn't she went in there? Where was her thing on her back, her little circle thing to use as a weapon? She never, you know, they never showed her about that. And you know, and then she gets on this thing and goes. Her acting, kind of suspect there, but when it comes to the people being created by the lasers, I kind of felt like, you know, they should all be the same. I don't care if it's black. I don't care if it's white. I don't care if it's male. I don't care if they're female. But I kind of felt like, remember in Alien Covenant when we seen the whole world, all the people that got killed. I think it was a Covenant, the beginning of Covenant, right? When all those people on the other planet, like the ones that came that really kind of like colonized Earth or whatever way back in the day.
Prometheus, yeah.
Like they all look the same. I felt like these lasers would have kind of created people that look the same. So to have then the long hair was kind of weird. That just tells me, like, I mean, Jared Leto is who he is, but you know, I question the sexuality of well, yeah. But like Dillinger, I question his sexuality now. Why is he so concerned with making this big, beautiful man instead of just a killer? But you know, whatever. But I just felt like the people that were created there should have been the same kind of looking. I wouldn't have cared if they were black, but I felt like they, you know, but I mean, it's technology. They could program them to look like whatever they want, I guess. But I would, you know, would that be as critical when you're just making warriors? Would you want to diversify your robots? Do we need diverse robots now? That was a question to me, but it's insignificant. It didn't push me to the woke argument.
I would say if you're looking at it in kind of like a George Lucas Star Wars type of way, where all the clones look alike, because you're just making.
I mean, clones are clones.
Yeah, after another. In this, if you remember okay, I'll bring this up. Where's Tron?
Oh yeah, no, he's like dead or something in this one, right?
Yeah. So Alan in the first film, Tron looks like Alan.
Yeah.
Right. And then Jeff Bridges looks like, you know, so they all look like each other. Then in the second film, well, yeah, because the sun goes in kind of in the same way that Eve does. And so you wouldn't have somebody on the outside world looking like him.
Yeah.
But you would still have in Ares the young kid, the Dillinger, who I guess would be, because they're all related. David Warner would be the dad. Then Cillian Murphy would be, I think he's the son. And then Gillian Anderson is the, I think she's supposed to be the sister of Murphy. And then that's her son. I think, as I saw a review who kind of broke it down. And so the son should look like Ares. If you're following what the other films did.
Yeah, you were just speaking Chinese to me there. I'm not that like, as far as the this franchise, I would not care enough to go into the characters personally to go whose dad is who's related to who. It was a big kind of like red flag that Tron wasn't there. Tron Legacy worked, just like the Bourne Legacy worked when we didn't have Jason Bourne, because it was the Bourne Legacy. Tron Legacy. We didn't, even though we saw Tron in Legacy, we didn't need to, because it was Tron Legacy. Here, Tron not being there was a very. This is like if Halloween was called Michael Myers. That was the name of the movie franchise, the Michael Myers franchise. And then you get to part 3 and Michael Myers doesn't show up. You know, this is the equivalent of that. Is like, you're calling it Tron Ares. Where's Tron? Did we as producers forget that Tron is a program, you know?
Yeah, I would say so. Tron is now just a name. It could be maybe now just the game, because they could have done Ares, a Tron film, or a Tron adventure, because Tron is
Yeah.
throughout Tron.
From the book of Tron.
Yeah, for the book of Tron. And Bruce Boxener, I think it's his last name. I'm not entirely sure, but he played Alan in the first film. He played Alan in the second film. Tron is in the second film, but he has the helmet on.
Yeah.
And he's almost shoehorned into the movie. And then I guess he dies. And then so Alan and Tron are not back in the new one, but I guess it's, I don't know, maybe the actor didn't want to come back, or they didn't want to try to get Tron in there. But I think a lot of people think Jeff Bridges is Tron, and he's not.
Yeah, no, he's not. Yeah, he's
Finn and Clue. Yeah. So,
well, see, and here's my thing. Even if you couldn't, and Garrett Hedlund, who played Sam Flynn, is a great actor. Even if you couldn't get him back and you wanted to recast him, I find it weird that we really didn't have him involved in this film at all. Being that, you know, we mentioned him. Why did he step down? Like, we had an hour of 9 Inch Nails. I want to do you like an animal. You know, we had an hour of that. You could have given us a little more into why Flynn stepped down. Or I think I was kind of expecting that at the end, when we got Jeff Bridges, I was kind of expecting that Flynn would have taken himself back into the program, and that we would have seen Flynn in, you know, the whatever, what do we call that? I call it the program, but whatever, the
grid.
You know, the grid. Okay. I kind of expected to see Flynn Sam at some point. You know, to me, the fact that they did not ever really explain why he really stepped down is maybe, I mean, and all you could have said, hey, in those news stories, Sam Flynn, you know, stepped down because, you know, his father was lost forever in the grid. You know, his dad is dead, and it devastated him, and he's just done with this. But I would have liked a little bit more with that. But, you know, Disney and death. Disney does not like death. They like people to almost die. They like cop cars to get cut in half, but you definitely don't want death. So maybe they just didn't want to acknowledge that, you know, Jeff Bridges supposedly died.
I mean, I guess, because I mean, in the game, or not in the game, in Legacy, he does die.
That's right? What I'm saying. Yeah, he dies.
He sacrifices himself.
Yes.
The thing, and I really enjoyed this. I liked it a lot, and I still think Legacy is better. But I like that this is a completely different thing, because Legacy is pretty much like The Phantom Menace. It's a requel. They're just remaking the first film.
Agreed.
But with some new characters. You're bringing in some Legacy characters, and but it works. It really works.
Yeah.
I like that Ares is a completely different movie. I like that it doesn't. I couldn't really find it anywhere. I mean, unless you want to say, oh, okay, so Ares and Eve are the same as like two of the characters, you know, are like Sam and Olivia Wilde. You know, it's the thing. I think that's stretching. And because men and women stand together all the time. But I've noticed that some critics are putting up pictures going, oh, look, they're just duplicating this. But I really enjoyed it because it was different. And but as far as the history goes, Tron was supposed to be a hit. It wasn't. It bombed and then became a cult classic. And then Legacy was supposed to start a massive franchise. And Legacy didn't. It kind of bombed. Like, it made some money, but not enough to continue the series, even though there are video games, comic books. I mean, it just didn't. It was supposed to start this entire world. And it almost seems like when Disney is desperate, they're like, crap, let's go back to Tron. It's like they're like redheaded stepchild for a franchise. And it's like, crap, our movies have been bombing. Well, let's it's been 10 years, that's 15 years, whatever it is. Let's bring Tron out again. And so I don't, but I guess this is setting up for another franchise, which I don't think will ever happen.
Yeah, here's my thought on this is that we had a movie that was a great idea in 82 because video games were all the rage. People going to play these video games, going to arcades and stuff. Video games have changed. So, but we love the nostalgia. So many people, which is evident, even the younger people, like in Stranger Things, they love nostalgia. So even if they're, not of our generation, they still love the nostalgia. So that's fine. So Tron worked. I thought Tron Legacy, and this is apparently probably gonna maybe either shock or offend you. I was bored to death with Tron Legacy. It was too much of the same film. I just didn't care. And I was like, why can't we just chop? We're getting so much this dialogue, these people talking to each other and nothing happening, and just like, let's get on with it. So I'm not a fan of Legacy at all. And I had never seen Legacy until 2 days ago. I didn't even care to go to see it in the theater. It just, to me, it seemed like technology and stuff had changed so much from what the original Tron was. That type of movie didn't really interest me. But with the new one coming out, and I love Jeff Bridges, and I thought, I should give these 3 films a shot here, and I should get into them. I like Ares better than Legacy, but Legacy wasn't a bad film. It was just way, way too long. You don't need to be over 2 hours for these type of movies. There definitely wasn't enough there to do that. But, I just completely lost train of where I was going. There was something you had said before I got on that. I apologize about whatever you were just talking about. But yeah, them bringing the stuff out and into the real world. I like that. I thought, obviously the CGI is great. It flying around, this big thing, whatever those are called, flying around in the city, was very cool, very scary. It's, reminiscent of Godzilla or King Kong or the Stay Puft, Marshmallow Man, walking around destroying a city. Or even like big things in whatever they were in the Avengers and stuff, where the people are just running for their lives. I thought that was great. Things that I wanted to mention. You're right about the girl that played Eve, her acting, sketchy. Another thing was when Eve and Ares are in the car, and for a second there, I'm like, oh no, here we go. The Fast and the Furious Ares, as they're racing across the bridge and everything. But it was fun because, the little Honda that they picked and stuff felt very Fast and the Furious to me.
It's an exposition dump that Ares gives to her is just Terminator. I mean, but Cameron did it a lot better because Cameron knew you have to keep the movie moving. So you put them in a car and you see them zigzagging in and out of traffic. And he's just like, shut up, listen to me, shut up. You're going to die. Listen to me. This, you didn't really get that because you have 2 actors. I overall don't have anything against Jared Leto, but I think that he is kind of a walking plank of wood. I don't think that he's a great actor. I mean, I'm not going to not see something that he's in, but but when you have him who's playing kind of like the Terminator, he's just this kind of robot thing sitting there. And then you have an actress like Eve who really cannot act. And one of the trailers that we got, she's in it. I'm like, oh no. So, because she has really no personality. But so they're giving this expedition dump, and I'm just like, okay, this is our Terminator scene.
But it's different from Terminator because this was, oh, Eve, you should be sad because your sister died and this and that. And but there were moments of that conversation where I felt that it was supposed to elicit a laugh, or we were supposed to think it was fun or funny or witty, and it wasn't at all. I felt like that scene, the potential it had was great, but it fell flat. And at least, I mean, the car zigzagging kept things going, but that scene was cringy to me.
Did you like the Depeche Mode references?
No, I loved that. And so I was waiting. And question for you, John Ward, did you go do your homework that I gave you? So in Tron Legacy, they go in to Flynn's arcade and we hear Journey playing. Then they go downstairs into the basement. The door's closed. We hear the music muffled. We hear Journey playing still, but it's muffled. Then that song ends. The next song that comes on. Did you go do your homework and find out what that song was? I
completely forgot. Oh, actually, when we were talking, I was looking it up and I couldn't figure out what song it was.
Shame on you, sir. That would be Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics.
That's right. That's right. Which fits the movie.
Oh, so, yeah, it was great. It was amazing. Yeah. I was like, yeah, great. That whole scene, the arcade, them turning on the lights, the jukebox coming on and everything. I was like, thank you. This is Tron. Tron is about arcades and video games in the early 80s. The dawn of gaming, it's going back to that. And so to pay homage to that with music from the 80s and an 80s looking arcade that supposedly was from the 80s, it was all dusty, they're taking the covers off, that was great. And so them having two classic 80s songs just really did it for me, because that movie, up until that scene, I was struggling with that movie. I really was. Well, but that scene was great.
My question, and of course the de-aging did not look great.
Oh no,
it was not there yet, which is why I'm glad they did not de-age. In Tron Ares. I'm glad that Jeff Bridges was just old. And I'm like, I'm fine. Because even one critic goes, so he's like a program or something. Why would he age? And I thought, man, you guys are really, and maybe because I enjoyed the movie, I can bitch a little bit about these people not liking the movie. But it's like, really? I mean, I was very happy in Saw 10 that they did not de-age anybody.
Yeah.
And I would rather have people look their age and get good performances out of them instead of them worrying about their looks.
But in my mind, there is a clear answer for why he aged. He's a user. He's not one of the programs. Even though that's like a hologram of him and he's supposedly dead or whatever, he's a user. He's not, like, we don't expect, Jared Leto. We don't expect Tron to age. They're a program. He's a user. He's a human being. Even though he was pulled into that world, I still look at it like he would age.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Because that didn't bother me at all. My thing with Legacy, when he goes into Flynn's and the games are all there, I'm like, does he own this? Like, is this owned by the corporation? Because why would it still be there? Why is there still electricity? Like, is the sun or the corporation putting money into keeping the arcade going instead of just tearing it all out and putting in something else?
Yeah, Sam Flynn didn't know it even existed until the middle of this movie, until the middle of Legacy. So that, I think the other guy that showed him, I forget his name, that was the older guy that was kind of running the company, right?
Yeah, Alan.
Is that Alan? Okay. When he showed him the arcade, I just assumed that Alan was footing the bill to keep this arcade there. He was paying the property tax. He was paying the electricity bills and stuff because he really hoped that someday Kevin Flynn would come back.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So to me, he knew it was there. He knew what was going on. He knew how to get Sam right there. So in my mind, he was paying for it. It might have been nice if they would have given us, one line of exposition explaining that, but whatever.
Yeah, it just seemed kind of, I mean, literally everything worked. And I'm going like, I love Legacy. I like it better than the first Tron.
Yeah.
Ares, I still like Legacy better than Ares, but I would probably say Tron would be my third. So it would go Legacy, Ares, Tron. But
Oh, wow.
yeah,
and I am completely backwards on that.
So it'd be Tron, Ares, Legacy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tron, Ares, Legacy, yeah.
Okay.
Because just the nostalgia factor for me of what it was at the time, Tron was only limited by a lack of technology, even though you sit here and, and we can argue, or debate green screen, blue screen, black screen, whatever it was. But, the way they used the chroma keys and stuff to add the light to their suits and stuff in the original Tron, and the way they were in front of those screens with obviously the digital effect put behind them, that stuff is really noticeable. If you go watch the 3 films now, the first one, you're gonna go, ooh man, there's a lot of issues with it. But when we were watching on our low def 28-inch boob tube TVs, we would have never noticed that stuff just because the resolution wasn't there.
Well, yeah, and watching it on VHS.
Yeah. So, but because of what it lacked in technology and advancements and stuff, that's to me the only reason. When you look at that new of a story, that fresh of a story for the time, somebody getting pulled into a video game, that's what, as kids, we dream of that stuff. You think of movies like Starfighter, these, we dream about movies of getting into the video games. And now it's obviously with first person shooters and all these crazy video games and stuff, it's a little different. But that's why I think this is so unique and so special of a movie, the original Tron, because it really pioneered.
Sure. There is a certain charm with the original Tron. There is I do find it funny that Jeff Bridges doesn't play Tron. I mean, this entire thing is based on Tron and the program of Tron, and the poster is Tron. It's not Jeff Bridges.
See, I feel like, and I apologize for cutting you off, I just feel like Tron should never have been a person. Tron should have been the platform. Tron should have been, where they were, or just the game. Tron should have never been a person. I think they failed doing that.
Well, yeah, and I think it's because they went off of that Tron became the game, in real life, that you go into an arcade and you could play, like they mentioned in Ares, you could play the Frisbee game. You could play this motorcycle game. You could do all that type of stuff. And it's just Tron light cycle, Tron, whatever. So now I guess Tron is just a name, but there is something very warm about the original Tron, while Legacy and Ares are very cold. And they feel like, I guess because maybe blue is the main color for Legacy, so maybe Ares with red, it shouldn't be cold. It should feel warm, but not comfortable warm. It should feel more like fire.
Yeah, well, and that's I mean, but you look at whatever the hell it was called, episode 3 of Star Wars, where the Revenge of the Sith, right?
Yeah,
where it was very red. That color palette was very red because it was evil, and red is evil, and that's why the bad guys are always red, the good guys are the whitish bluish colors in Tron here. And so this one was kind of like the evil empire just about to take over. And then it's very similar plot line to not the details, but the arc of the story and everything to Revenge of the Sith, where the Empire is about to take over. and they save the day at the end, and instead of blowing up a Death Star or killing Anakin or whatever. It's shutting down I guess what's his name, Dillinger's program. So yeah, but all in all, I thought it was cool the way it came into the real world. It was unique. And what I wanted to mention when I had the brain fart earlier was when you were talking about people complaining about like Legacy being too much of the same story, or this one, people comparing, saying, oh, it's just the same. Do these people not realize this is why some people should just never, ever, ever do movie reviews? They should just shut up and go away. When we listen to, let's pick our favorite band. Let's go with Metallica. Metallica has a certain sound to them. So if we hear one Metallica song, we want to hear another Metallica song that kind of sounds like Metallica because we like that sound. We don't want the next Metallica song to sound like the Beach Boys because that would be totally different. Just like we want Tron to have a feel like Tron. And then we want Tron Legacy to kind of feel like it's part of that universe, which it does. Then Tron Ares, it feels like it's part of that Tron universe. But I guess the greatest thing about this franchise is that as the films go on, they are embracing technology increasing, and getting better at that. So each film is a little bit better. And I like that. I like that they don't go like, well, Star Trek, shit, why does technology from the past look better than the future kind of thing? But
I hate that.
So with this, you have a movie that feels like Tron. Because we like Tron. We want something that feels like Tron. We want some Metallica to make a song that sounds like Metallica. We don't want totally different. So you need to give the audience some. And the whole did you catch the little fanfare of here goes nothing or here goes something? Remember that in Ares they had that line where they were referencing that conversation with what's his name from the first film, the old dude.
He used to be in a ton
was it
of stuff.
Crom, was that him? The guy who was like stuck in that thing, who says, the whole something or nothing or whatever, that whole speech.
He's old school, which is funny because David Warner and him are, I would probably think, maybe around the same age. And he's like, well, we could get rid of you. You're old. It's like, well, so are you.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a great actor. He used to be in a ton of stuff. And which is funny is one review I watched goes, why does Ares have a beard? Why does Ares have long hair? Nobody. Oh, that's right. It's Jared Leto, and we can't have his hair or shave his beard. That guy that we're just talking about has a beard.
Yeah.
And the reviewer said, because in the world of Tron, everybody's clean shaven and slick and nice looking and very, it's like, no, once again, have you not seen the other movies? This guy has a beard and he's in the computer. He's on the grid. He's like you said, stuck in that thing. And it's like, these people don't know what they're talking about. Like, did you not even rewatch the first two movies before you saw this one? Because I thought they did the research when they were doing Ares into the other movies, to the point where even with the flashback to Tron 82, and Ares is in there, he's black and white.
Yeah.
He's not just normal. He looks like Tron because Tron is meant to be black and white, basically, just with the neon colors. But they even went that far instead of just going, fuck it, just put him in. He'll just look like he does now. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I don't think these, like you said, some people just should not be reviewing movies.
Yeah. Yeah. I it's one thing to make an argument and one thing to have, point, counterpoint and stuff. But if you're digging and you're reaching for things that just either you haven't done your homework or these things don't make sense, you need to just shut up. But to me, I mean, it's just as simple as, we want, and that's why at first Halloween 3 got so much hate because we saw Halloween 2, and we wanted more Michael Myers, and we didn't get it. So people hated it. So when we watch these movies, we want to feel like we're watching part of that universe.
Sure.
And, and so I don't know. I think as far as all that stuff goes, I thought it was fine. I do think missing the character of Tron in this,
Excuse me.
in Ares is a mistake.
Yeah.
Missing Sam is a mistake. Unless they were going to put that, subtitle on there of, or not subtitle, but whatever that's called, the title, the extra thing, that says, from the book of Tron, or, in a Tron universe, or, or Tron Legacy Ares, something like that. I just felt like, but they could have fixed all that by not having the character Tron at the beginning. But I think probably to their credit, back in 1980 or 82, when they were making this movie, they had no intention of it ever having a sequel. So
I don't think so. In 82, definitely not. I think that it was a huge mistake to get rid of, technically, I guess, get rid of Tron in Legacy. But according to Ares, even though you crash in 29 minutes, you could still come back up. So, and you have the same memories and everything. So I don't think that there would have been a problem with them resurrecting Tron for even one scene, just to kind of have him in there. So
here's either you have one of two choices. One, Tron is the game. He's the program. If you're playing the game, you're the user. I'm the user. I'm playing against Tron. So if that's the case, so if I'm playing against Tron, then Tron shouldn't matter if he dies, because he's the one that is always there. And so they bring him back every time. So therefore he should have been in this third movie. He should be in every movie. Or you say, you know what, at the beginning, we're not going to have a character named Tron. And instead this guy, because Tron should be inherently evil. He should be the bad guy because he's trying to defeat the user and everyone. So he shouldn't have been the good guy. You should have set it up where we're playing the arcade game, where we always see the high score of the list, and whoever had the high score in Tron, it should have been, that guy, player number 1. That should have been, they should have given that name to Tron, or he should have said, created his name, Tron something or whatever, and make him that. So it's the guy who holds the high score on the game as that, whatever that name would be, give that to that character of Tron, and don't have him called Tron. Do that, or have Tron in every movie, because he's the guy you play against. He is the program. So I think that's, I'm not the filmmaker. These are just the choices I would have made if I was the filmmaker.
Yeah. And like I said, at the very beginning, there were 3 things. So I didn't find the film woke. That was 1. 2 is I liked it. 3 is I would have made a completely different movie. So, but this is what we got. I like the war aspect of it. I like them being able to use these programs for war. I thought it would have been interesting to see them do that. That like maybe have at the very beginning, Jared Leto or Ares is, or maybe a completely different program who malfunctions, and they're in some foreign country, and and things go wrong, or whatever it is. But then that'd just be Superman. And we just saw that with the 2 countries fighting.
My guess is you're jumping the gun. I think that's going to be our sequel, because the movie is, we have to get the permanence code. We need to be permanent. And so the idea that they could come out, but they only have 29 minutes. I thought that was unique. I liked that aspect. And I was waiting for, at the end, almost like that Thanos, okay, now I have the code. Like, I have the rings. Now I have the code. I can go destroy the whole world, and make it kind of like this Avengers Doomsday kind of thing, where, the technology's gotten out. I mean, make it Terminator, where the technology's taken over. You could really go there with that. To me, this is, if we're going to do that, we're going to have the technology get out. What would happen to get there? And this is kind of what got us there. This is how they got the code, how they got all these tanks and whatever the flying upside down U things are, whatever those are called, how these things came to be. So I think 2 or 3 movies from now, we may look back on this and go like, okay, that's how we got there. Because in so many movies, we go, how did this happen? We jumped from A to X. We didn't go through B, C, D. We didn't, do everything to get there. We just jumped so far ahead. And I think maybe down the road, if you stuck around for that mid-credit scene, when you saw that thing growing down Dillinger's face, Dillinger was turning into, well, I guess the original Dillinger, right? Ed Dillinger, who in the beginning, in the first one, was that him who had, remember in the first movie, that was Dillinger, right? Who wore that mask with the thing that came down.
Sark.
Okay.
He's the new Sark.
Okay. But he's in the first film, David Warner played Dillinger and Sark, right? That was the same guy, right?
Yeah. Well, that was the idea, and that's why I think for I don't know, Dillinger the first or second or third, whatever he's supposed to be, he is supposed to look. He should be Ares, or they should have Jared Leto running the company, and then it looks like he looks like Ares. So they made a mistake on that.
Yeah, I just had an epiphany. So I got a movie that hopefully someday people will get to see. It's going to be called Wild Game. And
nice plug.
There's video game aspects of it. But one of my co-producers decided that the people should look different when they're out of the game versus in the game. All I should have said was Tron.
There you
Tron.
go.
Mic drop. Tron. They look the same in the game.
Yeah.
Fuck F my life.
There you go. There you go. Well, you can always remake it. So
yeah. No, well, I shit can that scene anyway. So if I reshoot that scene, then I'll find the same people.
There you go. So I want to show what I have here. I only have 2 things. So this is a Blu-ray, but this I had to wait years to get this. It's got that cool kind of 3D. This was originally around $200. Wow. And I finally found within the last couple of years like a really cheap copy of it. So you're getting the Blu-ray 3D, the Blu-ray 2D, DVD, and a digital copy. It has Tron Legacy in 3D and just regular Legacy in like 2D. It also has the original Tron. It's 5D. It's 5 discs.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray 2D, DVD, digital copy, and then Blu-ray original classic movie.
Nice.
The big thing was this cover, and it has there's a fair amount of special features on it. This was when I saw this, I did not want to pick up anything else besides this, and it had everything in it. So the guy who sold it, here's even a thing on Tron Uprising, the TV show that takes place between Tron and Legacy, and I got a poster for it right here too, because it's kind of a cool looking poster. Apparently everybody really likes this show, but nobody watched it.
Huh.
So it goes Tron Uprising, Tron Legacy. So I thought that was pretty cool. And eventually I will watch it. There's like 19 episodes, but everything is on its own disc, which I like. So they weren't cheap and just threw stuff on like a double disc or anything. So this is really, and I've never needed to buy another copy. This has every single thing that you could possibly ask for in like a collection if you're a big fan of the show or the movie.
Nice.
And then I do have a Tron Funko Pop.
Oh, nice.
So he glows in the dark. I don't know if they have any for Legacy, but I did check, and Ares has some Funko Pops.
Okay.
So I thought maybe if because they're regular price, but if it comes down a little bit, maybe get an Ares one. So Tron, that's Tron, and then Ares would be Ares. maybe see if there's something for Legacy that would match what's in here.
There you go.
So so that's fun, and you can also get the Sark in here too, the David Warner one.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So this is fun. I've never seen it glow though. I always have it out in like the living room, and I just have not seen it glow yet. So, but oh well, it probably does.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not doing it right. So I thought for we would look at looking at, let's say, Tron budget, 17 million. It made 50 million. Now I don't know if that's adjusting for inflation or anything, but that's what it's on Wikipedia as. Budget was 17. It made 50. It made, I don't know if that's over years. I don't know, but I mean, it made some money back, not a ton.
This is the original Tron?
The original Tron, yeah.
Well, just the idea that the movie is 43 years old now, it's gonna have made some money back over time. So, I don't know. I wouldn't put too much stock in the idea that that 50. It wasn't like that 50 million was made in the opening weekend. So
no, because the film bombed. Everybody thought it was boring, and nobody liked it. It was rare that somebody actually enjoyed it. And then Legacy, its budget was 170 million. Its box office was 409.9 million.
So it did good. It didn't do great for what I'm sure they wanted, but to get to close to $500 million is not bad.
No. And let's see so Tron Legacy was what? And this came out in 2010.
Yeah.
So its budget on it was 170. So then if you look at Ares, 180 is its budget.
Which is interesting because 15 years has gone by and inflation has not slowed down a bit. So it's interesting that the budget was only $10 million more than Legacy. That's interesting.
Yeah, and they're saying that this film is going to tank. Its box office so far is 60.5. Somebody pointed this out, and I want to see if this is true. They're saying that Tron Ares, I'm guessing this guy's a Jared Leto hater, but they're saying that Morbius made more money.
That's funny.
So Jared Leto, okay,
is he a Jared Leto hater or a Jared Leto apologist?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So let's see. So, God damn, this guy has so much crap. Why isn't it just movies are listed? Why do I have to look at his albums?
Oh, that's funny.
Come on, man. Okay, here we go. Okay, Morbius. Okay, so okay. So the budget for Morbius is 75 to 83 million. Its box office. Now I'm guessing this is a total. Tron just came out. 167.5 million.
Ouch. That's to only double your budget. That's not great. They couldn't have been happy about that.
Yeah. So, oh well. We'll
at least they didn't lose money, but Morbius, people were so pissed off at Morbius before it even came out. Everybody was saying it was going to suck and all that because of the hate for Leto. I am one of the few that don't mind Morbius.
Well, and you're not a comic book guy, so that would make sense.
Yeah. He's a vampire. It's a vampire movie. Was it great? Was it perfect? No, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. So, but what I do find interesting. So the IMDb ratings for Tron 1982 is 6.7. For Tron Legacy, 6.8. And already with over 10,000 reviews in, Tron Ares, 6.7. All three of these movies right at 6.7, 6.8. People, the fan base from the original movie is enjoying the sequel and the third film. So it seems like in general, if you liked the first Tron, you're going to like these. That's based on the scores. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, and because I also pulled this up too. So let's see. So Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, so we got it there. So for the original Tron, see right in the 60s, 60%, 69.
Which, yeah, 60. I mean, 69 is not a terrible score, but it's not great. But
well, if you go off of school, it's a high D.
yeah, no,
Just about a C.
Yeah, correct, yeah, but it's funny because if you would have told me, okay, the audience scored at 69, I would have probably guessed somewhere around 60 that the experts would have scored it. So that it is an interesting score.
Yeah, and then when you're looking at, so let's get rid of this thing here. And then I got the one for, let's see here, Legacy. So 51 got a splat, but still in the 60s.
Yeah, the fan score is a little bit lower, and yeah, but these experts that do the tomato meter, I just, they are looking at all this criteria, and it's not just about, is it a good movie? I think a lot of them are like, does this check every woke box? They're looking at aspects of the movie that nobody should ever look at, or they're just judging it as pretentious twats.
Yeah,
my thing is, these people that are these tomato meter people, they watch all movies. They're grading all movies. So when you look at their movies, if they grade a horror movie low, it's because they're not fans of horror, just like the Oscars and stuff. They don't give awards to horror movies typically. So these experts are just fans of all movies. I care about horror movie fans when I'm judging horror movies. I care about sci-fi fans if I'm looking at Tron, and I don't buy these people, but I still love looking at the scores. That is very interesting, but I don't put a lot of stock into their score. I would go more with the fan score of this, because I would think the fans, the popcorn score, is more the one that are truly the people that went because they wanted to see Tron, not because they had to just to put out a review.
Okay, so then what do you think about this one? So 56 got a splat.
But look at the audience score, 87.
Score. Yeah.
See, that's what these twats, these tomato meter D-bags, they don't know what they're talking about. They are mostly Jared Leto haters, and the fans are enjoying this movie. And that says over 1,000 reviews already. That is a pretty significant number. Now, on Rotten Tomatoes, it could get up to many thousands of reviews by the time everything is said and done, but 87 is a pretty good start. So for me, I will always go with the fan score more than the experts. But to me, I just feel like the experts, it'd be interesting to read some of their reviews, what they thought, what their arguments are, but I don't think they know what they're talking about, and probably a lot of these experts were not even born when the first Tron movie came out. And, I don't know, but it's not surprising. I would have guessed that the experts would have hated this movie, and they do.
Yeah, true. So,
but man, I mean, it's to me, just to go back, and I hate the fact that I don't know what those things are called. The big flying upside down U shape.
Oh, I should know what they're called, and I forget. So,
but that thing flying through the city, and that shot of it, the people in the building and it going by the window, holy crap. And the way it just shot down that police helicopter. And then you had those two, I don't know if they were F-22s or F-35s, whatever those jets were, come in, and it just demolished those. That was pretty amazing. Now, I did like the fact that they were able to damage it to show that this thing wasn't just invincible, and that finally that missile hit it or whatever, and it kind of shot its leg, and the thing caught on fire and it crashed. I really liked that I thought so much of that was just a very cool story. The whole really the third act of this movie really did very good for me. The only thing that I kind of didn't like was when Disney went, we can't kill anybody. We love Disney princesses. And we have the girl on the ground who she's gonna derez any second now. So we have to go have our moment where Jared Leto holds her head up. Oh, she's gonna die. She's gonna fall apart. So we have to have our little intimate moment. F you, Disney. Go away with that garbage. She's a program. And I understand we're trying to show that he has emotions, but we've already determined that when he had his moment with Jeff Bridges, when he was going, I don't know why I like Depeche Mode, I just like it. We've already shown that he is a machine that has learned to have emotions. We don't need to have this intimate moment with this ugly creature right below him. I am telling and why the dyed blonde hair? Just like ugh.
Well, because you need contrast. So you have the very beautiful Jared Leto, and then you have the rough, tough, militant, maybe lesbian, kind of like leader of the army type of thing. Yeah. So it kind of, she's very rough looking, even though I guess if you see her in real life, she looks a lot like, and kind of like Grace Jones. I mean, the bald head and all that type of stuff. But
she just had a fat face. I didn't like Grace Jones has a very profound, distinct jawline I mean, Grace Jones is old now, obviously, but this girl, she had a rounder face than me, man. This is not a good looking woman, in my opinion. I
guess it's weird. It is kind of like the black chick from Wicked is. In real life, I'm not a fan of hers, but she's not a bad actress. And it's like, can you? I've
never seen her. I've never seen her act in anything, and I'm okay with that. All I can tell you is that put up a picture with her shaved head and everything. Put up a picture of her, and then put up a picture of Gollum. I'm just saying.
Well, because a lot of these people do click boxes. So you got female, black, they could be gay. It's all about
okay with all that. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, but I'm just saying there are so many gorgeous black women, and you don't want to make her a beautiful woman. That's fine. You just want to make her a tough, powerful woman. Fine. You don't have to go make her gorgeous, but don't make her an eyesore. Don't make me stare at a pimple that's about to explode for 2 hours. Give me something that is not hideous or repulsive. And this woman was just repulsive.
Well, and if you kind of look at the actors that they have here, so we have Jared Leto for, I guess, the adults and women. Women love him, and Jeff Bridges,
to me, I think his eyes are beady and they're too close together. But who am I?
Yeah, women love him, and then you got Jeff Bridges there for people like you and me. Who love the dude and just Jeff Bridges in general.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll address this afterwards. Yeah, I don't want to stop your role.
Then you have the young guy there, the Dillinger Jr., would be, I guess, for Gen Z. And then you have, the kind of black militant, army woman who might be for lesbians, might be for gay women. I'm not really sure. And then you have the Asian woman who cannot act, who I don't find attractive. And I don't really know who she's for, but maybe just for a female audience. And then you get Gillian Anderson because she was in X-Files. So you bring her into this. There are certain actors that you bring into movies because they did one thing and everybody uses them because of that one thing. And she is mostly known for X-Files. So if we're making a Tron movie, who do we bring in? The queen of sci-fi television, and that would be her. So that's to kind of give it some clout in a way as far as like sci-fi goes.
John, I have a problem with your poster. Your poster is sexist. You are a bigot. You are a fascist because all the men are on top of the women, showing that they're more dominant than the women.
Hey, I didn't make it, man.
And then also, yes, the white guy who played Dillinger, you have to make him, the evil white guy, because he's got to be commanding the black girl who's portrayed, she's like his slave, and and he's the evil white man who's ruling everything. And I'm kidding. I'm going down a woke hole. I'm kidding.
well, you have,
but those are arguments people are going to make.
Well, you have, the young guy's in red. His mom's in red because they're evil, even though Gillian Anderson, she ends up being good. You do have Ares, who's supposed to be bad, and then you have him down below with the black chick. They're supposed to, so they're in red. But the two people, the two saviors, are in blue. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the good thing about this, yeah, Gillian Anderson really should be kind of in blue. But
and I know you hate accents. What did you think of her accent?
Whose?
Gillian Anderson.
She is
not British.
I am not familiar enough with her to know. I remember when X-Files came out, watching a few episodes, but I've never seen like the whole of the show, and I don't know her from anything else. If she was more maybe she is an A-lister, I don't know, but not in my book. But I just don't know her enough to go, okay, I don't know about her accent. And she was such a weird kind of throw into this movie. Like you could have eliminated that character altogether and not needed her. The only good thing you got was a slap. Otherwise that whole character was a throwaway character. We just didn't need it at all.
I guess you needed that moral compass, and they're saying, she's saying to him that what he's doing is wrong. Because as far as the accent goes, David Warner is British, so he has an accent. Cillian Murphy, who is his son, shows no accent whatsoever. And now we get, I guess it's supposed to be his son who has no accent. No, her son has no accent, but she has an accent.
Yeah.
So why are we doing accents at all? If you're already setting up in the second movie that the family member doesn't have an accent, just don't have anybody have an accent.
Yeah. It's weird. It's almost like she wanted to go like, oh, I've always wanted to have an accent in a movie. Let me do this. To me, the whole accent thing is like, we look at, a guy who we've seen act in many, 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 many movies. And then all of a sudden we see him in a movie and he has an accent. Did he have an accent in Road Warrior? No. Did he have an accent, when he was playing a cop running around town? No.
Are you referring to Mel Gibson?
But then he pulls a sword out of his ass and he's got this god awful accent. Those are the things that bother me. I haven't seen Gillian Anderson enough to know, and I'm sure if I pulled her up, I'd go like, oh, okay, I know her from this, this, and this. But I don't know her enough to go like, oh God, that accent offends me.
Okay.
But yeah, right. No, Mel Gibson is not allowed to have an accent. That would be Mel Gibson having an accent would be like Tom Cruise in his next movie having an accent. Imagine if
technically
Tom Cruise,
he does have an accent. It's an Australian accent.
Tom Cruise?
No, Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah, well, no, but I mean, it's never, it's never really, it's never a hard accent. It's not really.
Well,
you know,
he wouldn't, because he's technically not Australian. He's from New York.
yeah.
His parents moved to Australia, and he kind of adopted the accent. So maybe that's not as strong. Why it's not as strong as some of the people. So my last picture that I have here, and then we can wrap this up.
Okay. You know what? Now screw you, John Ward.
What?
Screw you. Because I'm just realizing now that Gillian Anderson was in 22 episodes of Hannibal, and I know her character, Dr. Bedeliu de Maru. I don't know how you say her name, but she was in the movie or in the TV show Hannibal. That was Hannibal Lecter's shrink, the shrink that Hannibal would go see. So now I may have to go, because I don't even remember her having an accent in Ares. I just didn't pay that close attention to it. So now I may have to go back and rewatch Ares.
Oh yeah,
to see
she
her
does a very kind of Howard's in the Age of Innocence type of hello, darling, how are you? Oh, what are we doing today here, OGP? Hello.
Yeah. I don't know her
very,
in much else. Yeah, that's frustrating. Yeah. Damn you, John Ward. I would have never noticed. Now it's gonna bug me.
And then
my score has just gone down half a point.
Oh, ouch.
I kid.
And then I just have the timeline here of stuff that's happening. So this is the Tron franchise from 82 to 25. And then it goes the movie, and then there's a video game, and then it goes back up to a comic, which then goes back down to a video game, which then goes to the series Uprising. And then there's a gap, and then that goes to Legacy, which then goes to another game, and then it goes to another game, and then it goes to Ares. So they're leaving out a lot, comic books and all that type of stuff from here. But I guess this is just more movies and video games.
Yeah.
So
I should have went in the garage and dug out my Tron video game to show today, but I didn't think about video games. My bad.
Yeah, it looks like this is a YouTube channel that, because Tron franchises 82 to 25, we are going to cover each movie, series, and comic, but more focus on the movies and the series. So that's what this is. But I thought it was kind of cool that they showed.
Yeah, put all the posters together like that, kind of a timeline. That's cool.
Yeah. So what is the overall consensus here for Ares then? Would you recommend it to people? What 1 to 5, what would you give this?
If you're a fan of the Tron movies, I would say you definitely want to watch it. I didn't watch it in 3D or in like IMAX, and I've heard that it was pretty cool to see it in IMAX. But I just watched it regular. I don't like, especially if I have to put glasses on to watch a movie, I don't want to, like 3D glasses. The first hour was very tough for me, but then it bounced back in the second hour. Man, I'm really torn. I kind of want to say like 2.5, but I'm like, I think it was better than that. It was just the first, no, 2.5, because I start thinking about that the first hour and just so much Nine Inch Nails music and these montages going on that just didn't need to go on this long. But Nine Inch Nails had such a great song, and we got to get through the whole song. So I was like, and maybe he just made the music with the movie. He looked at the movie and then made the music to it or whatever. I don't know. But I mean, there was a point where I was just like, at 45 minutes, you were still watching the movie, and that's why I didn't text you, because when I was 45 minutes in, you would have been about an hour and a half in, hour and 45 minutes in. So I knew you were still in the theater, so I didn't text you, but I wanted to text you as I sat there in my seat with nobody else in the theater, because nobody's going to see this movie. I wanted to text you and say, John, I want to go home now, because I was not having fun. But once Jared Leto's character came out of the program there, it got pretty good. But that wasn't enough to overweigh it, and other little flaws like not having Tron and stuff, and the very limited use of Jeff Bridges at the end. 2.5. 2.5, which is right down the middle. It's not good. It's not bad. I will never buy this. I don't care. It doesn't make me go, okay, now I need to go out and buy the other movies or anything. It's just there. I didn't hate it. If I ever watch it again, I'll probably fast forward to the hour mark and then start there.
Okay. This is a film I will be buying to add to the collection, plus being a completist, but not on all things. I out of 1 to 5, I do give this a 3.5 because I don't think it's as good as Legacy, which I would give a 4. And then
Wow.
Tron, I would probably give a 3. Yeah. So yeah. So this would be in the middle of the two movies for me.
Legacy for me gets a 2, and the original Tron gets a 4. Okay. Because the original Tron was just such a pioneering, good movie, a unique story. They were just challenged by technology at the time. Legacy was just boring, and I can't emphasize that enough.
Triggered. Cancel you.
Look at pictures of blue-haired women. Quick.
With nose piercings. So, okay. Well, anything else to say, or should we get out of here?
I don't. Oh, popcorn buckets. So if you're a big fan of Tron, they had some cool popcorn buckets.
Oh, let me see if I can find that.
And the one that looks like the arcade game is very cool. The other is just kind of like a bucket. But man, if anybody wants to buy and send OGP that popcorn bucket that looks like the arcade, message me. I'll give you my address. But I don't want to spend $35 on it. But it was a very cool looking popcorn bucket. It would look great. I am a horror movie collector fan. I don't collect other genres, and so it's just I have the Ghostbusters popcorn bucket, and I'm like, it's kind of there's ghosts, so it fits with horror, but even still I'm kind of wondering why I bought that. But the popcorn buckets, if you're a fan of Tron, get them while they're hot. Get them before they're gone.
Well, here, I keep thinking I have to download and then convert, but I don't. So this is what the popcorn bucket looks like. So let's see. It's on eBay.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, we'll go to the theater. You can buy them for $35.
Yeah,
brand new.
I
hate resellers. Fluffy Gamer, I hate resellers.
That is pretty cool looking. They didn't have that there. They had 2 buckets at the AMC that I went to, and then they had a glass that glows, and you could put drinks in it. And I'm like, no, I just want the cup for soda. Like there's 2 plastic cups, one large and one medium. And I said, no, that's what I'm looking for. I don't need because like I had mentioned to you, I kind of made that mistake with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, where I did buy the popcorn bucket, and I don't regret it or anything, but Kingdom is the weakest one. If you're looking at the brand new movies, so out of the 4 films, I think it's the weakest. So I spent extra money on a popcorn bucket for the weakest movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I would have but the Tron Ares cup, I would just display back here, that'd be fine. Yeah. I'd be okay with that.
I wish that that arcade looking game looked like the original Tron logo on top. But the original Tron logo on those arcade games is cool. Ares is what it is, but I like that. And that I want to say that the thing probably stands. It's more than a foot tall. It seems like it's probably about 15 inches tall. And they had a whole bunch of them at the Regal Theater where I saw the film. So, but I don't think they'll last because those are kind of cool. And there are a bunch of butthead resellers out there who hopefully lose their ass from buying all these and are not able to sell them, because shame on them. Shame on resellers.
Shame on you.
Shame.
Yeah, I experienced one myself, as you know. So
And no posters. No posters.
yeah, I was really bummed about that. They put out Naked Gun posters. Granted, it's a different company, but we got Naked Gun posters and not Tron.
Yeah.
What the
Well,
hell?
Disney is moving away from physical stuff, like, as far as getting physical media copies of like Disney films and stuff. They're not putting them out like they used to. Even the screeners that would go out to movie reviewers, they're just like getting like a disc in the mail. Or like a code to stream and stuff, instead of actually getting the physical copy. And that's just, it's the way of the times. And I don't know though. To me, maybe they just didn't feel like, or if they didn't feel like this movie was going to make 3 or 4 times its budget, do you really want to spend that extra money to put out these posters to hand them out for free? So that's a thought there too. But I would have loved a poster from this film.
Yeah, that's actually one that I would have hung up. So I would have framed it. So okay, all righty. So that wraps us up. That's I think pretty much everything.
That's all, folks.
That's all. Folks. No, that's not. Well, how does it?
Yeah, no, that's, I don't know.
Goodbye, folks.
Yep, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, the pig and the
I'll never do it.
Yeah, one of those.
And he's poking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right, everybody. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. If you made it to the very end, I really do appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of Tron Ares. And, if you liked it or not, or what your favorite Tron movie is. And, I or we, I guess, depending on the movie, will see you on the next one. So bye, everybody. Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.